This one cash move is building a brand new financial system, and more importantly for you, it could put 25 times more cash in your bank compared to what you're getting right now. And the crazy part, it's not some risky investment. It's not a complicated trading strategy. It's about the money you already have sitting in your checking account earning basically nothing. While the 1% use the exact same cash to multiply their wealth 25 times faster. Keep doing what you're doing and your bank keeps robbing you blind, but use this strategy and you flip the system in your favor, while at the same time fueling the invention that's rewriting global finance. I've been making Bitcoin, investing, and macroeconomic content for almost a decade. I've coached over 6,500 people on how to grow their wealth faster. And this cash move is always one of the very first strategies that I teach because it's simple, it works, and it changes everything. So let's go. All right, look, here's the problem. Now, most people think keeping money in checking or savings, it's safe. But safe doesn't mean smart. All right, the average checking account today pays about 0.4% interest. I mean, that's basically zero. Meanwhile, inflation is at least 3, 4, 5%, 8, 9%. So your money isn't safe. It's literally bleeding out. And here's the kicker, right? Banks aren't dumb, obviously, right? They take your deposits, the money you thought was just sitting there, and then they turn around and they lend it back out, of course, at 6, 8, or even 20%, like on credit cards. So you're earning 0.4% while they pocket the spread, and that's called getting robbed in daylight. Now, to make it worse, most people pay their bills early, right? So most people are just like, pay everything on the first of the month, for example, right? Instead of waiting until they're actually due. Now, this means that they're handing their money back even faster and earning even less. Now, that's just one of the ways the system is rigged. And of course, that's why the wealthy don't play this game. Now, the average person parks their money in checking or savings. And again, like it's basically earning nothing. But the wealthy, of course, they buy assets, right? That's why they own real estate. They own stocks. They own businesses. And of course, my favorite asset, Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's averaged over 60% CAGR, a compounded annual growth rate every year for more than a decade. All right, it's the best performing asset in history. And I tell most people, take all the money that you can afford to not touch for the next 4 years and put it into Bitcoin. But the question is, what about the money you need in less than 4 years, right? Bitcoin is too volatile for short-term money. I mean, don't put your payroll in Bitcoin, because if you need to make payroll next week, Bitcoin could be down. You don't want to set your mortgage payment aside in Bitcoin. I mean, if you got to pay it like in the next 30 days. So what do the wealthy do with the short-term money? Well, what they don't do is let it all sit in checking accounts, all right? They treat cash management as part of their whole investment and treasury plan. Because when you optimize your cash, it becomes the bridge between your long-term wealth building and your short-term liquidity. Now, it's not wasted. It's working that way. And when you get this right, you realize that your cash can actually multiply wealth. And I'm talking 25 times faster and without taking on any more risk. All right, so let's run through some of the numbers so you can see exactly how this works and how crazy this is. All right, now let's just start small. So let's just say that you have a $10,000 average bank account, all right? And that's sitting in your bank accounts, and let's say it's across everything, right? So it's business accounts, personal accounts, checking accounts, savings accounts, all of that, right? And you have 10,000 average, and it's say 0.4%. Now that's going to pay you $40 a year. 40, that's it. Now, if you put that same money into a money market account, let's say it's at 4%, now you're making $400 a year. I mean, way better than $40 a year. But if you move it into a new asset called Stretch, STRC, it's paying about 10.5%. Now, that same money is not 40, it's not 400, it's $1,050 a year. Now, that's more than 25 times what you get in checking. And we're just getting started. Let's level this up a little bit. Let's say that you average $50,000 across, again, your business and your personal accounts and checkings and savings and all these accounts, $50,000 in cash. All right, that's about $200 a year in your checking account. Now, if you move that to a money market account, it goes from $200 to $2,000. But if I put it in Stretch, that's $5,250 a year. It's almost $500 per month. I mean, that's the difference between maybe going out to dinner a couple times or taking your entire family on a vacation to Fiji every single year. Or really, That's more income than most of your rental real estate investment properties are going to make. Now, let's get real serious about this, because a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of mid-career professionals, they've got maybe $100,000, again, sitting across all their accounts, right? Their bank accounts, their checking accounts, their savings accounts, their brokerage accounts, and $100,000 in a checking account is going to make you about $400 a year. Now, if I put it into a money market account, it pays $4,000. It's much better. Stretch, $10,500. Again, that's not pocket change, all right? That's an income stream. Again, that's 2, 3, 4 rental properties just by moving money that you already have, all right? Now, here's where it gets really wild, all right? Most people have no idea about this. What happens if you don't just move the money, but you also hold on to it longer? You see, most people, they just pay their bills like just randomly, like on the first, online bill pay sends them out, right? But what if you had each bill set up to be paid on the very last day before it was due each month? And then let's just average that out to say that you hold your money for, let's say, an extra 15 days every month before you pay your bills. Now, all of a sudden, with $10,000 in Stretch, that turns into about $1,578 a year. $50,000 turns into over $7,800 a year. And with the $100,000, it's not $10,000 a year. It's $15,660 a year. I mean, that's a massive difference. I mean, think about that. That's like a free car every year. It's like paying your kids' tuition. It's like hiring an extra, person to help you in your business. And if that doesn't sound like much, think a little bit bigger. Think a little bit longer term, right? Think about if you took that money and you invested it into, say, the stock market, right? And let's say it's a 15% CAGR, 15% compound annual growth rate, right? Like S&P 500. Over 20 years, that would be $1.6 million. That's enough to retire on for most people. Now, if you put that newly gained amount into Bitcoin, like I would do, and it only did, let's say, half of what its 3-year CAGR is, let's say it only did 30% over 20 years. That's $9.9 million just by making this one small change. Now, remember, this is no extra risk, right? This is no extra work. It's just smarter cash placement. And here's the thing. This is just one of the simplest wealth strategies that I teach inside what I call the wealth operating system. It's what the 1% wealthy already use. And if you want to see the entire playbook, step by step, how to reclaim your time, optimize your income, and multiply your wealth, I'm going to host a special private live workshop next week. And I'm going to break it all down. We're going to hang out live. I'll answer all your questions live. I want to make sure you know exactly how to apply this to your specific situation. So check out the link in the description down below. Hit the QR code that's on the screen right here and come hang out. Come join me. I'm going to show you 3 secrets the wealthy use to grow their wealth 300 to 500% faster. And trust me, it's not what you think. All right. So where does this yield actually come from? Because you might be thinking like, how is this possible without risk, right? All right, well, this is where the new invention comes in. It's called Stretch. Again, it's STRC. Now, this is not like a stock picking or like some type of trading strategy, all right? It's just an equity. You can just buy it in your brokerage account. And it's something entirely new. And here's how it works. Stretch is securitized Bitcoin, all right? And what it does is it strips away all the volatility and it turns Bitcoin into a stable, yield-bearing asset. Think of it like this. It's as safe and stable as a money market account, but instead of paying you only 4%, like in like a bank sweep or something like that, Stretch is paying you about 10.5% right now. Now, the best part is that when you buy Stretch, your cash isn't just sitting there. It's actually fueling Bitcoin accumulation in corporate treasuries. Companies like MicroStrategy are building balance sheets around Bitcoin. So not only are you getting stable, high yield income, you're also plugging directly into the biggest monetary shift over our lifetime. Not just our lifetime, over the last 500 years. And here's the thing. Who wants this? Like, who's a bank account? Everyone. Who wants to earn 10.5% in their bank account? Everyone. Every saver, every business, every retiree. Because, of course, who wouldn't want a safe account that finally pays yield again? All right? I mean, this is what I mean when I say one cash move is literally building an entirely new financial system. I mean, it's that big. Okay, so let's take a step back. Let's look at the bigger picture here, because this isn't just about squeezing more yield out of your cash, right? This is about something much bigger. This is a brand new financial system being built right in front of us. For decades, savers have been getting absolutely crushed, right? 0% interest rates. In 2020, it would take a saver $10 million to earn just $50,000. It was insane. On top of that, we have inflation eating away at your purchasing power. And so, you save money and you're actually getting poorer. But now, for the first time, you can put your cash into something stable, earn yield again, and at the same time, you can fuel Bitcoin adoption at the institutional level. And so every dollar that flows into Stretch is buying more Bitcoin for corporate treasuries, right? That's not just about you getting paid more, which is great. Of course, we want that. It's about rewriting the foundation of money itself, right? This is how the old system dies. This is how a new system built on Bitcoin rises in its place. And here's the real genius of this, right? It's not just about some new invention out there. It's about the way the wealthy approach money, right? It's strategy. Because the wealthy know that it's the small strategy tweaks that make all the difference for them. Most people, they just leave their money in their checking account or their savings account, right? And they pay bills early. They think nothing of it. But by shifting your accounts into yield like this, and then structuring your payments at the very last possible day, it can literally mean the difference between making a couple $100 a year or building millions over time. And I know what you might be thinking, right? Mark, this sounds complicated, right? I've got checking here, I've got savings over here, I've got personal accounts, I've got business accounts. Figuring out how to sweep all this into yield and taking the time to make the payments on the very last day, that sounds like a mess. Well, that's exactly why I built the Wealth Operating System, right? It's a framework, it's a process, and it's powered by technology. It automates all these moves, it structures your accounts, it sets up the flows so your cash is always working harder without you having to even think about it. And even if it did take you some work to set it up, wouldn't it be worth it? If it meant unlocking not just an extra $10K a year, but potentially millions in future wealth. This is why I start every client here, because once you see how powerful one simple tweak can be, you're ready to stack the next and the next and the next. All right. That's how the 1% build wealth 300 to 500% faster. And this is just the first step. So don't let your bank rob you, right? You've just seen one simple move that could turn dead cash into a wealth engine. And this is only the beginning. But if you want the full blueprint, the exact system the 1% use to reclaim their time, optimize their income like this, and multiply their wealth, then come join me for a special private live wealth operating system workshop. I'm going to break it all down step by step. I'll show you how to set all this up. We'll hang out live to answer all your questions so you can apply it to your own exact situation. Again, it's all free, it's all live, it's all private, but spots are limited. So hit that link in the description, scan the QR code that's up on the screen right now, and come join me. Because again, once you see the whole system, you'll never think about money the same way. And again, this is only just one piece of the puzzle, because the wealthy don't just make their money from yield, they invest it in layers. And those layers allow them to grow their wealth 300 to 500% faster without earning any more money. Now, if you want to see exactly how that investing in layers works, then you might want to watch this video right here, because it breaks down how the 1% structure their money in layers to accelerate their wealth. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. I'll see you over there.